Hey, this is Mr. Ward, and I'm going to do a video key for Do Now 17.3 for algebra. And we are going to be considering this line, and I've identified 4 points on the line. I've had 0, 8, and 3, 4, and 6, 0, and 9, -4. And you might have noticed that 6, 0 is the x-intercept and 0, 8 is the y-intercept. And if you've already done level 1C, or 5C, if you've done level 5C, you probably know where this is going. But let's take a look here. So if you replaced x and y in this expression, we're going to take this expression. If you replaced x and y with 6, 0 from that line above, so if you remind you, 6 zeros on that line. If you replaced x and y with 6 and 0, respectively, what would the expression equal? So 6 is going to go to x and 0 is going to go to y. So let's just do that. 6 over 6 plus 0 over 8 is going to equal 1, because 6 over 6 is 1, plus 0, because 0 over 8 is 0. And so that's just going to equal 1. Okay, and that's the answer there. Well, let's take a look at the next one. So this next one, this point is also on the line, 0, 8 right there. We'll test that one out. So we're doing a little experiment here. See what happens. So x is going to become 0 and y will become 8. So it's going to be 0 over 6 plus 8 over 8. And this time we end up with 0 over 6 equaling 0. And 8 over 8 is 1. And so that just equals 1. And again, we got 1 both times. That's very mysterious or suspicious. Okay, let's take a look here. Now we got another point, 3, 4. Now go back here and you can see it is on the line. So 3, 4. So what would that make this expression equal? So here we're going to take x and replace it with 3. So that becomes 3 over 6. We'll replace y with the y value, which is 4. So 4 over 8. Well, that comes down to 1/2 plus, well, 3 6 is 1/2, and 4 8 is also 1/2. And so that also equals 2/2, which is 1. So we got 1 again from another point. That's interesting. There's a pattern here. Okay, now we take this last point, which is also on the line. And of course, there's an infinite number of other points, but we're picking this one. Okay. So we're going to replace x and y with the values from this point, 9, -4. So x is going to become 9 and y will become -4. You may be wondering, maybe this will also equal 1. Well, let's find out. 9 over 6 plus -4 over 8. Okay, we can do some simplifying. 9 over 6 becomes 3 over 2. And -4 over 8 becomes -1 over 2. Well, 3/2 plus -1/2 brings us down to 2/2, which is 1 again. So thank you for participating in an experiment. Every single time you got 1, hopefully. And if you didn't, then you're going to check your calculations. So no matter where you go on this line, the x and y values for the point for any point on that line will make this expression equal 1. So no matter what the x and y values are on this line, I've got the line here, in fact, no matter what they are, if I plug in the x and y values into that equation, even if they're crazy ones, it will add up to 1. Now, it won't quite work if you use rounded values. You'll get a rounding error. But that represents -5.5 and 15 1/3. If you put those into the equation, you would end up with 1. So whatever x and y values are, combinations on this line, x over what turns out to be the x-intercept plus y over what turns out to be the y-intercept will add up to 1. And that's a relationship that actually defines what is called the intercept form here. So Jimbo would like you to know that this is the intercept form. He's right about this, okay? Jimbo gets a lot of things right. He just makes some mistakes sometimes, and just like all of us do, including me. So he would like you to know that the x and if you know the x and y intercepts for a line, you can build an equation using what has been creatively named the intercept form. So the intercept form is this. It's x over a, where a is the x-intercept, plus y over b, where b is the y-intercept, equals 1. You can use this with negative intercepts. You can use this with fraction intercepts. You can use this with all kinds of crazy numbers. If you put in the x-intercept and the y-intercept here, this whole equation will always have a relationship that adds up to 1. Except for this. The only lines you can't use this for are lines that go through the origin at 0, 0. You can either share your thoughts on why those lines wouldn't work or ask questions about that here. Well, here's what's going to happen if you have a line that goes through at 0, 0. Well, the x-intercept is going to be 0, and the y-intercept is also going to be 0. So you're going to have x over 0 plus y over 0 equals 1, and this would put you in a position of dividing by 0. Don't do that. It will break the universe. Okay, so don't divide by 0. I mean, the thing that really happens, there's certainly lines that go through the origin. The thing that this means is, dividing by 0 is called undefined, and it ends up meaning you can't pin down what the line is, because you can have lines pointing all kinds of directions, infinite slopes that go through the origin. So it just doesn't pin anything down. So I hope that has helped. Please do ask me questions on what you need today so I can know what to focus on, and I will go ahead and stop for now.